Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Well, folks, here we go again. Good and decent people willing to serve our state. No hearings, no review, no looking at their qualifications, no consideration, no remembering the history of this body or how we have operated for the entire length of time of Michigan history. And even to correct some people last week, not even knowing how this works. These people, when rejected, mean that there's a vacancy. There is no child ombudsman in this state. For example, this political game has real consequences for state government and real consequences to the people we serve. I'd ask that the clock be stopped since this is my no vote explanation.
Without objection.
And for what? Why are we here? You start to ask yourself a question that many have asked me before: what would good look like? See, the problem is that as far as I can tell from the other side of the aisle, you can't even define what you're looking for. So let's ask some questions and maybe someone can get up and give us an explanation. Is it about the economy? Is this all part of a fight to make sure that strip clubs and water parks are open in this state? Is it about you protecting the public? Is it about us adopting your plan to protect the public? Well, that can't be, because quite frankly, the plan doesn't exist. If you were willing to put on the table what you are for and not what you're against, then maybe that would be a reasonable thing. You'd be able to tell us exactly what you're for. Colleagues, at this point in time, no one has laid upon the table how we solve this problem, how we move past it. No definition of what it would need to look like. Colleagues, even hostage takers are decent enough to give a list of demands. At this point, none of us know in state government or anywhere else, not your constituents, not the governor, not us, what it would take to actually stop this impasse. You know, I've been reminded several times by a member on the other side of the aisle that just because you can doesn't mean you should, and just because it feels good doesn't make it right. And if we're going to ignore all history and protocol of this body, if we're going to have these tit for tats back and forth and use our power regardless of the effect of it has on state government or the people that we serve or anything else, if the only thing we care about is our power, then what's stopping us from over here, for example, ending all immediate effect on every bill? If we're going to keep playing this game where power is the only thing that matters and that there are no real discussions about what happens beforehand, that we're handed a list in the morning, no ask how our side feels about it. You know, you say you're so frustrated because no one will talk to you. Seems the same deal over here. So I guess if all this is going to be is a game about political power and not about the institution and not about history and not anything but that actually cares about or what our constituents actually accomplish or any of those things, then I guess we can play games as well. At some point, I would guess that each of you actually ran for this office for a reason, to accomplish things for the people that you serve. Is rejecting an appointment to Grand Valley State or the Cosmetology Board really the reason that you ran for this office? I doubt it. I hope at some point that common sense and conscience will actually bear this all out. And at some point we'll learn that We're all here for a reason. And it's not to play political games on the floor of the state Senate. And it's not to get rid of the history of what this place has meant to so many and what has been accomplished. And it's certainly not to destroy relationships on this side of the aisle either, because we can learn to play games back. At some point, that certainly will have to happen. I hope that this ends before we get there. Because at the end of the day, the people of Michigan deserve better than this. They deserve us working together. And this is not it. I asked that my remarks be printed in the Journal, and I asked my colleagues to have some common sense today.